Well, it's definitely better weather than it was last week. So we got some ice and snow out here, but anyways, look at it now. It's like 70. Texas for you. Everything's thawed out. Quite a big change in weather. Let me show you what we're gonna work on tonight. All right, so we're gonna see if this is gonna work. This is a universal 3-inch turbo intake kit that I got on Amazon. It's black pipe, and it's actually not bad. Everything's bead rolled. You've got some, I don't know, what is that, 35-degree bends or something like that. You got some 90-degree bends. You got some 180s. You got two of everything, pretty much. So another 180, another like 35 or something, you know, 25, whatever. We've got some couplers here, another 90 and two straights, and then a bag of clamps that I just dumped out in the box. It's a pretty affordable kit. It's affordable enough where I think we can see if I can at least like try to make it work without taking it to a custom shop and having it, you know, TIG welded up and everything, which is sort of the, you know, the proper way to do it probably. But hey, there's nothing wrong with this. This kit will work. If I can connect the pieces, I'm really close. I mean, half the piping is already done. We're only talking about connecting just the intake and the existing stock pipes for the charge pipe here into the intercooler, and that's really it. So if you go back and watch my last video though, we did an intercooler install on our 79 Mustang here that's given the 2015 2.3 liter EgoBruise motor. We call it Project Eagle Brews, and yeah, so this is where we're at. So got the intercooler installed, made the brackets up for it. Came out pretty nice, pretty happy the way that came out, and now we just need to kind of complete the intake system, hopefully, with this universal kit. And listen, if we can't get it to work, it's fine. I don't feel like I lost that much money. We can grind it off, we can use it. I can take and get a TIG weld. It is aluminum, and it is mandrel bent, as you can see here, and it's actually not a bad coating. It's not the best coating on the planet. It's got a little bit of pitting on it, but hey, it's about as good as it would have been, you know, if I just painted this black. And again, this isn't a piping you're gonna really see. It's just a couple sections. So clearly most of this stuff is going to be too big. We're going to, you know, doing cuts, radius cuts, and then using a bead roller, or hopefully re-roll a bead into it. But I think with what all we have here, with all the pieces that it came with, we can make something work out of it. So yeah, I don't know. We're going to be creative together, okay? And hopefully you can see it's getting dark tonight. So if it gets too dark and you can't see, we'll have to do this in daytime because yeah. All right, I'm actually gonna shut the garage because we get a little bit more light. Yes, with the garage closed on the front end when I'm working at night until that happens. Yes. Anyways, we got a lot more light now, and we should be able to see pretty good here what we're working on. So let's check it out. Look at this aluminum bumper. It looks so good. All right, man, you guys should see the rendering I did of this car. It's gotten me excited. I think I've got my wheel choice picked out. I'm doing some measurements on those wheels right now. About to get them on order so we can get the wheels on, get this thing down into a roller. Once it's a roller, I can get the subframe connectors installed. Once the subframe connectors installed, Stiflers is going to give me, I think. Thank you, Stiflers. I think they are. They're going to get to. I think so. They're going to give me a universal cross mirror mount. We can mount the T5 to the subframe connectors welded on in place. That will finish most of the drivetrain. Get this thing on a roller. We got the axle over there. Get it cleaned up. Get it put in. Get the rear wheels on. And I've got all kinds of surprises coming, so it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be really cool. But hey, let's look at this. So hey, aluminum bumper. Go back to my last video. Actually, my last video I said I installed the intercooler. I was wrong. To lie. My actual last video was scoring these aluminum bumpers here. These are super rad. So check this out. This is the bands we got to work with here, and it's not all that bad. I need to clean up some of this wiring here. Get it out of the way. All right. Okay, so whenever I installed the Volvo pump here, I kept in mind, of course, the piping. Now, let me give you my drawing here. So what we're working with is a 2.5-inch outer diameter stock Ford pipe here with a 3-inch pipe here. This is going to be a 3-inch outer. You have to fit over it. So we got 3-inch outer hard to a 2.5 outer soft. So I'll tell you what I've got for this. We'll talk about this in 1 second. So that's this side. And then that is the actual intake side. So that's the charge side. The intake side, of course, is going to go into the turbo, and then the charge pipe down here. So the charge pipe coming out of the turbo into the intercooler is on this side. This is a hard pipe, 2.5-inch hard inner diameter. So we need a 2.5-inch outer diameter coupler to go here and convert it to this guy right here. So this is, again, you know, a 3-inch. Oh, God. Let me show you my drawing. Man, when you're like me and you have like one of the largest subscriber count, one of the biggest, most popular Fox Body YouTube channels on the planet Earth, revenue is just streaming in, okay? It's just pouring in money. You get high-tech equipment like this notepad here, big shops, lifts and stuff. But hey, this is what we got. This is what we're working with here, all right? This is my diagram, okay? I told you high-tech, man. Not even using the whiteboard this time, dude. Anyways, we've got the 2.5 inner diameter pipe going out of the intake. And then we have the coupler here, which I'm going to show you here. So I've got kind of everything laid out as far as the coupler. So we're going to do a 3-inch coupler. It'll be 3-inch soft coupler for the U-pipe or the 180 bend. And then we'll have to use some sort of a bend to get it up to this metal coupler here, which is going to step it from a 3 to 2.5 inch with a hard metal step down pipe there will connect a soft coupler from the mandrel bent tube to the stock pipe there. And then on the other end, we've got the actual pipe coming out of the turbo here, which is a hard pipe from 4 to the 2.5 inner diameter. I'm waiting and I can't find it on just a basic silicone 3 to 2.5 inch stepped coupler. So we'll get that, and that'll hook up this side into the intake of the intercooler. So makes sense. It's really easy, right? Real simple. You know, I'll put all this description, whatever, like everyone else does on YouTube. Put the description down below. You click on it, link to buy it. This is a aluminum. Really, it's an exhaust step down, but it actually includes a little bit of a lip on it, which is great for this. And it's really solid. It's real thick. But this is exactly what I need. So this is going to go into our 2-inch. Then now we'll have to use a normal coupler from here to there. It's a really short run, so I don't know how this is going to work, but I'm going to start playing with pipe and just see what we can figure out. Okay, so funny story. I really, honest to God, did not think this was going to work. I was kind of laughing it off. I really did. I was kind of joking about this. I'm like, this is going to be hilarious. I'm going to have to cut the crap out of this stuff. But yeah, so check this out. Okay, so I'm going to cut this in. We're going to make this a lot shorter. This is too long because it's hitting the core support. This needs to come up and rotate, but so I do need to move this up, but I can't believe this actually works. This is just their standard 180 pipe here. So we've got a coupler here on the intercooler, just your 3-inch coupler. That'll work there. Again, it's too long. We're going to cut this and bring it in a little bit. But what side I want to cut, I don't know. But this is actually going to work. If I left this right here as it sits, it would work. It's just going to be a little too low. I don't like it down, you know, as low as it is, because it is pretty low. But it would work. It's not a whole lot lower than the rack is, but it does need to tuck up some more. So we got to get this, you know, up, and we can do that by rotating this that way and shortening up a little bit and shortening up this coupler, because this is actually going to work pretty good. We could also, we had to shorten up the Mustang charge pipe there, just the factory one. It snakes up to here. So again, yeah, this isn't even tight on the throttle body, so we need to tighten that up. And then we've got really enough room there. This side's pretty good. I think with some trimming and just some kind of, you know, trimming up the tools or the tubes, I can probably get this working. Now this side's a little different, but because I don't have my coupler reducer, I can't really, you know, test this. This is the same deal. I need to shorten this up. So I'm thinking if I take, you know, a couple inches, maybe off of this, bead roll it on both sides, that'll help tuck it in closer to the core support. That'll bring it in, and then this, hopefully we can get right up in here. Now here's the deal. I've already purchased a straight 3-inch to 2.5-inch coupler, 3-inch inner diameter and 2.5-inch inner diameter coupler, but you can get couplers for anything. And I think if I can find one, there's a company I know of that you can actually order really specific couplers. In this case, it would be a 45-degree, I'm sorry, it'd be a 90-degree bend, and we get a step down from a 2 to 2.5-inch. It might just fit right from here to there once this is, you know, rotated up, and then this is brought in. I think we'll be able to go just straight into it, and that's pretty easy. right, I just shortened up this 9-degree elbow here just to help bring the pipe up a little bit higher. It's now kind of level to the core support, because you gotta remember the car is pretty high right now, so we don't want this thing dragging. And it's going to be pretty close, pretty good. So whatever equal amount I cut on this side, I'm going to cut on this side to bring the whole U shape in, or the 180-degree turn here in, to get it a little bit snugger towards this. And before we go that far though, I am going to go ahead and just probably throw the front bumper cover on, just to make sure, you know, that it's still under the bumper cover, because it looks like we may have to go higher. I don't know, you know, if this is going to work where it is. I do understand it's dark out here. Hopefully this light helps out quite a bit, but we do have it protruding obviously way lower than I want it to be. This is definitely poking out below the fender line, which is not cool. I mean, you'll totally see it. We need to get this thing tucked up higher. We need to get it spun up so that it's right here next to the Volvo pump. Otherwise, it fits this way. Even though I'm going to bring it in a little bit, it still fits pretty good. So the problem we have is this intake pipe right here. This actually goes to the throttle body, down to my coupler that I bought, and this is, you know, snakes down here, connects to the throttle body. Anyways, you just saw this a second ago, and we were having this trying to connect there. Anyways, the whole pipe itself is just a little too long. If we can shorten the pipe, we can bring the whole 180-degree turn up higher. The problem is, and I was thinking, I was like, well, why don't I just, you know, build the whole intake pipe with the universal kit, with certain bends and everything, and just redo this pipe. That would get rid of this bend, and we can just go 3-inch to 3-inch. But this is not actually 3 inches. This is more like 2.8 probably. This is a 3-inch coupler, and it is just too big. So, you know, you see that there, but yeah. So, you know, it doesn't fit. So the problem is we've got an interesting size taper here. You can see from Ford that is going from like a 2.8 down to a 2.5. So the best section, of course, to shrink this is right in here. But now we're talking about actually taking, you know, and reducing the tube size, because we're gonna have to cut this and then, you know, put some of a slip insert inside of it to shrink it. And that slip insert is going to end up being, you know, under 2.5 inches probably. I don't know, or around 2.5 inches that we had to put in here. So now you've got, you know, clamp. You got too many clamps on a rubber hose, and I don't like that. All right, let's not get too crazy here. Let's just try the simplest, obvious solution here, which would be just to shorten this down a little bit as much as I can. That'll give me a little bit of movement up. We'll test fit it, and if that doesn't work, we'll go a different route, because I figure I'm gonna have to replace this pipe or do something custom with it anyways. Why not shorten it out? And all I do here is just eyeball it, man, just so I don't go crazy on my cut and get all weird and crooked. Okay, let's go see how much, a little bit over an inch does. Well, let's see, that brought it up quite a bit, actually. We need to get some clamps on it, but I think when it's clamped down, yeah, because this has got a lot of wiggle in it, so this really needs to be like that anyway. See, I don't love it, and I don't like, you know, these bends, right? Because this is going to your intake. It's not the best bend, because, you know, you've got air moving here, and this air is feeding your engine. So this is compressed air and all, but you want the smoothest flow possible. But it's this, or we start getting crazy custom. I've taken this thing off probably 400 times. Yeah, you know, it's low. Tighten this up like this, we'll be fine, because this has more room to push up. I mean, I can push this up with my hand. It's just loose on the intercooler. So push it up, get out of the way. This will get us on the road, get the car built for mock-up, at least. All right, 3 days later or so, I just got off work, and I got my part in. This is my 90-degree angle, 2.5 to 3 inch 90-degree coupler here, and it's yeah, it's really thick. It's heavy duty, man. This is a lot thicker than the other ones. So we're gonna bust it open here and just take a look at it. I'm anxious to put it on. I know I'm like still in my, you know, work gear here, but hey, anxious to try this on. We're gonna get it on and see if we can kind of complete the turbo intake set up here. All right, let's see what we can do here. Little soapy water. Pretty tight fit. Okay, this is gonna be way too big, but let's give you an idea how much to hopefully trim it down. I mean, technically it works, but you can see this is way too long here. So, I don't know, I guess that works pretty good. I'm gonna bring it up a little bit. I think it is too, I think it's just a little too low. There's no reason for it to be that low. Okay. So, you know, when you're a YouTuber like me, things happen when you're super amateur, or I'm sorry, the top-notch best YouTuber on the planet. The batteries on my audio device here went out. So this whole time, I didn't even get to explain what I was doing, but it doesn't really matter. All I did was cut this tube down. I didn't like the angle with this thing over here, and I used a test tube here and just cut it because the blade I'm using on that cutting wheel is for non-ferrous metal. It's not supposed to go aluminum. Go real slow though, it cut it just fine. So I went ahead and shortened our 180-degree pipe here just to bring, you know, this side towards the motor in a little bit and get that kink out of it. And now we get to break out the big toy. So I get to break out my bead roller and we'll try to roll a bead in this. This is not a bead roller for tubes. It's just what I've got. It's a bead roller for sheet metal. It's very hard to do tubes because it's hard to keep a straight line. It wants to wobble and turn, and it's mainly powered, so it takes, you know, a little bit of effort, but that's okay. We'll do it. Let's put a bead in this thing. This way. Okay, so not too bad. We've got a little bit of a, oh, you can see where I started walking off there, so it's not exactly symmetrical, but it is a bead. That's what we want. It is a bead, and it'll keep the hose from slipping. Oh yeah, it's a lot of bead. All right, I think we're good. It is awfully close, but it's not hitting now. So just moving this pipe in, we cut two ends off of this, moved it in a couple inches. It kind of helps this angular curve right here not hit the pipe. So it is close, but once it's tucked up there, in fact, it's hitting right there. But that's actually because I got the nuts or the V clamp spun down. So because the V clamp can be rotated, it can get those bolts out of the way. I need to rotate the V-clamp bands, otherwise the nuts are actually hitting right here. So it's going to be perfect though. I think once this is all together, this is out of the way, it's behind our pump and it's everywhere. It's the exact spot we want it to be. So that's good. It's really good. Yeah, it looks nice. I think it's good. I don't really love this connection here. You know, the step down, because you are stepping down from like a 3.5 or 3 inch down to a, you know, 2.5 here, and it's just kind of wonky, you know what I mean? It's just a step transition, but it'll be boosted, you know, there's going to be forced air into it. It should be a big deal. And the passenger side worked out perfect with a little step down, 3 to 2.5 inch, and cut down little 90-degree bend coupler there. It works perfectly. This side had zero issues. We only ended up cutting one side of that pipe, the side towards the bumper. We had plenty of clearances, and actually on both sides, this has just worked out really nicely. I mean, the pipe is just below, you know, the bumper bracket, so everything is fit just perfectly. I made sure whenever I put the intercooler in that the exit and entrance pipe to the intercooler was below our bumper bracket, so I didn't want to hit that. So we have this perfect amount of space here, and I'm really happy the way the passenger side came out. So it looks really flawless in here. We've got, you know, the passenger side right there, and then we've got the stock driver's side. So all in all, the universal kit was a huge success, I think. It got me, if anything, functioning. We have a functional, you know, piping, intake piping here, and charge pipe going on to Project Eagle Brews. So that's pretty cool. If I do anything else, I might just get a custom one made for the intercooler outlet to the throttle body, just to get rid of that bend. That would be probably pretty easy and not cost a whole lot. But otherwise, man, it's coming along, dude. I'm pretty excited. Intake is done. Now we can start on wiring. Boom. All right, man, I think we're gonna be good. Project Eagle Brews is coming along, but slowly, but at least it's coming somewhere, right? So hey, that finishes up the cold piping. That's pretty cool. We got the cold piping finished. Man, what's next? Next, we'll probably tackle wiring and really start taking things apart. I mean, really, once the wiring's done, that's a big job. But once the wiring's done, I mean, the fundamentals here are in place. I gotta figure out where to put the ECU and figure out where to run the wires. Oh, gotta run brake lines. That's important. Gotta run brake lines. And yeah, then we disassemble when we start actually doing body and paint. And then start building the car for fun, because this is all still mock-up. It's a lot of mock-up, but I'm tired of looking at this engine bay. Guys, real quick about the wheels. I'm gonna show you this picture here, so check this picture out. This is the idea, at least this is the image I've got, the goal in my head, and kind of want to, this is what the car should look like if you can imagine it in avalanche gray. And if you can imagine it with these wheels. However, these wheels don't fit, they're not gonna fit. I'll call the company, they're Koenig decagrams. The Koenigs are weird because if you get enough offset in the front to allow for that brake caliper for the Brimbos, the spokes stick out. We don't want spokes stick out, we want a lot of concave, but that's hard to do to also fit a concave, to have a concave wheel and also fit the Brembo. So I'm having a tough time finding the exact wheel. I'm very picky. I've been looking for 6 months. I've got to get the right wheel picked. Once I get the right wheel picked, I can put the front suspension on, roll it out, and we can put subframe connectors on. Don't want to do that until I had the front end on a load. Because the car could twist and warp. So gotta get the wheels picked out, man. That's a big deal. So anyways, hey, follow me on Instagram. Okay, cool. You can also check us out on housedealer.com and make sure to subscribe. Helps us out. We'll see you guys next time, man.